Hello and welcome once again for those returning, and a special welcome to new viewers. This is the Daily Dharma. My name is Dina, taking a moment to smudge, cleanse, and clear our sacred space. And just as a reminder for those, we have the pole barn open today, so please do excuse any road noise or passerby or any of that sort. So getting right into the message. Today, we're going to go ahead and start from scratch. I woke up in a weird mood and was, I guess, in a space that was really needing to be focused in. And this felt something almost beyond myself because I can't necessarily pinpoint it as to what's going on for myself. As I look deeper into these energies, it feels that it's something coming through for the collective. So here's how my channeled messages were coming through. There's this feeling for some, and your symptoms, if there are any presenting in your life, may vary because for each of us, there's different types of information that needs to be activated at each time for each of us. We'll know which area of our life is being pinged, which areas in our chakra system, in our body are alerting us to some type of discomfort, overuse, underuse, or so on. But feeling into the emotional spaces and the physical spaces will definitely give our psychic sensibilities something to really look deeply into. And I would even suggest for many that even though we know that something doesn't feel good, let's say in a situation or in a relationship, it's never the other person that is so-called at fault. Most of us here will easily recognize that, but some of us will resist that. So that's not to say that we aren't good people engaging with assholes. That can also happen. However, it's our choice to continue to deal with these guys, girls, women and men, and otherwise. This was also coming through with me, with frustrations with my household, with my pets. My chickens are all up in my garden mulch that represents a lot of difficult work for me. My dog has it in his head he should run off and gallivant the countryside. He doesn't know about fences, that he shouldn't be in the neighbor's yard. He doesn't know he shouldn't be in the road. And yeah, some of you could be judging me, but we've trained him to stay in the road. It's just something I believe with this upcoming full moon. This is the time of the full moon. It's the 21st today at the time of this filming, May 21st. And the full moon is going to be somewhere around 10 a.m. Eastern time on the 23rd of May. So we're in the window right now. And Sagittarius represents freedom. And with the chickens and the dog, because those are easy examples, it's like, what do we require? What do we desire? Was the idea coming through from the frustration point, the what's not working point. It's these feelings that arise. For me, there was some extreme heaviness, wooziness, unexplainably, feeling of specifically being quite depleted. And this was coming through with a number of things for the collective as we're encountering these things. It may be a headache in some people's ideas, blurred vision, or queasiness in the stomach, tingling in the limbs or across the chakra systems. It can be skin rashes, and please don't own any of this that isn't for you. But if something unexplainable has come out, I'm no doctor. Definitely get that checked out, and I must say that. But also, while you're waiting for your checkup, really lean into what does this mean about my energetic needs and desires. With the animals, it's like I I would prefer them to stay out of my mulch. I would also love to have them be free range and just do whatever they want. I want my dog to be running around happy go lucky, but that's not the world that we live in. I can't let him run in the streets, quite literally. And so similar with children and with intimate partners and people at our jobs, it's like, wouldn't it be easier for us if they would all just be part of our little control complex? And I'm not saying that we're control freaks. What I'm saying is that it's part of the human nature. And I'm noticing over the last few days how often I go to film and out of nowhere there are flies. And I'm in the pole barn. It's not like there's food or anything for the flies to be here for. They're just coming in from the open outdoors. But I even looked this up, and flies can represent, of course, a number of lesser, more negative connotations, such as decomposition of matter. But if we look at that even more deeply, it represents a transition state from what's no longer working, needing to be released, needing to be perhaps dissected symbolically within our psyche, and being able to integrate that into some type of nourishing ideas and then able to apply that forward. So the transition between one state and another. Um, Also, oh, and transition is here too. I did lay out just a couple cards, but I was still in a weird space, so I wasn't going to take them. But just for your information, universal love popped out, and this was the transition on the bottom. So, a transition into a greater sense of universal love. We were talking about the upgrades of the earth herself and how this new earthly, excuse my itch, um, a new dynamic emerging here on earth, upgrading the dimensional awareness of any of us that are on so-called the front lines, or that are head and shoulders above certain others on the consciousness awareness level, let's just say. um, and so for us, we often will see ourselves going through the portal a few days ahead of the masses. So I think that this initial uprising in our energy is going to start showing us what needs to switch to bring more of our passions to the forefront than our frustrations, and a happier state of being, more contentment, more peace and love in our everyday lives. So, uh, yes, animals, lessons in boundaries, being disregarded and crossed. Those chickens do not care that I don't want them in my mulch. They're looking for what they need and require, and which led me to recognize that my daughter had not fed the chickens. So I took care of that right away, but not to worry, they don't go very long without snacks. Flying off now, we have 33. Miracle. Under the deck, dynamic. There's a breakthrough of energy happening right now. What's under dynamic? Alchemy. So we are the alchemists of the experience, and then revealing communication and authority. So this leads me right into the next level of this channeling also. So the lessons and boundaries being disregarded and crossed. It's like we could easily accommodate others as well if we flip this dynamic. And wouldn't it be great for them if we could just fit into their control dynamics? But so it's not always about boundaries, but these are some of the limits that I'm feeling, that there's got to be this a new set of standards for ourselves, and where we awaken and become aware of our limits. Come here, Cole. Excuse me. My daughter just got home. The dog wants to go say hi, but he's trapped inside because he's a runaway. Run, 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 run away. We know your name. New standards. So then came through the eye of the storm is in the eye of the beholder. And something about bees seeking the nectar, which then creates the honey. And likewise, if we are finding ourselves in a situation where we need to set limits and boundaries, my solution for chickens and dog is reinforcing my own fences, right? Good fences make me a better neighbor, and it makes my chickens a better neighbor to my plants. And so self accountability. So often when we are dealing with some a-holes, then it's not as much about being accountable to the situation. It's being accountable to the choice point of, okay, I really don't need to listen to this, or okay, this person is really overstepping and insinuating something such as blah blah blah. Or because there's also this underdog type of a current, to just jump ahead, this sensation of being victimized either by circumstance, by life, or by others, or by the amount of work, or the insurmountable path ahead in some type of a way. And this self accountability is, are we giving away our services and energy a little bit cheaper or for free to those who disregard it, take it for granted, and will ask us to jump and do whatever at any hour of the day? And it's not like an infant that needs us. When they cry, they need us. But short of those extenuating circumstances that you can fill in the blank with, the accountability here is that there is a new limit. And if we've set the limit, how have we done it? Have we done it in an overly offensive manner that then almost reinforced the defensiveness and the ultimate then withdrawal from the other side, creating withdrawal from the other side? This creation of distance has been coming in with Pluto just finding its way out of Capricorn back into Aquarius. And now Pluto's gone retrograde again, still at the second degree for now, but we'll be backing up into Capricorn once again to finally work through all of this information later this summer and into the fall, before we start to come back into Aquarius. So all of this stuff, Aquarius is the rainmaker, the water bearer, and it's like being able to really come into perspective that works for us in these situations. So self accountability has so much to do with altering our perspective, and also with taking ourselves out of situations that are taking advantage of us, setting limits for ourselves, honoring our own predisposition to overexert or over accommodate or under accommodate and underdo. There's some resistance and attachment energy here. And attachment energy for some in some dire situations can even lead to situations that have slid into some type of emotional vampirism, very draining. And instead of blaming the situation or the person, it's the accountability point says, no, I don't deserve this. This isn't making me happy, and I do deserve happiness. And so therefore, my choice is to stay where I'm at or go out the door. So then I have honor and respect, symbiotic interactions. And it was really reminding me of many of the teachings of the Native Americans about how to honor and respect all things, such as the land and all animals and beings across everywhere, every kingdom. And part of that was coming through was leave it better than you found it. And that's also coming through with if you borrow something, if you visit a place, then you shouldn't just leave your items all over the place. Even in a restaurant, I know this is something that not everybody will agree with. There are people getting paid to do this, but that doesn't mean I'm going to well, excuse me, spit. That was hilarious. Yeah, I'm not going to do that either on the table or anywhere. So I'm not going to shoot spit wads and throw my food on the floor like an infant because I know better than this, right? I mean, and this seems so basic, but how often do we encounter individuals that are so entitled with energy and with, well, somebody's here to take care of me. It's my time. And it's like these people, we can see them as, and even as I address them as these type of people, it sounds very, well, I'm not that guy, but I'm sure that we've all been that to someone at some time where we've had something else come up. But one way to, for instance, respect the servers is I like to just stack my plates and put them at the end of the table because I want to put my hands right here anyways. I don't want to have my plate underneath my face, and so it helps both individuals. Now they don't have to sit here and stick their hands across my face and get the dishes. I've already placed them in a place for them. I've met them. And in a similar way, if we're in the workplace, it's not our responsibility to be the janitor. However, if we've thrown 5 things towards the trash and missed 4 times, it's not good to just leave that stuff there. Yeah, the janitor gets paid for it, but on the energetic level, there's residues that we bring into our field by not exerting the accountability and level of honor and respecting our body, respecting our immediate environment, such as like a cubicle at work or something, or your space, or at a client's house. You don't just throw your stuff around, and you don't just kick their dog on the way out. It's basic, right? But these issues are coming up, and it's the shadow essence that wants to speak through some level of symbiotic energy here. And how it is really coming full circle is there's this place of needing and requiring. What do you require in addition to food and shelter and water and human bonding? We really require connection and reverence with our environment. It's the way that spirit is able to be inside us. It is the embodiment process of spirit rippling forth from our center, the way that we care for our environment and the way that others care for their environment and their people and their animals and their plants and their sacred nature versus not. And right now, we're setting limits with disregard, disrespect, and dishonoring behavior. And it's like setting this new limit, this new standard, or building this new fence line between self and other to either contain and protect or to protect from outside. So that back to the victimization, bullying, workhorse energy, this victimization has always been a choice point. Once we became aware of any type of lower energy, it becomes a choice point in that these are the activating circumstances or painful or challenging situations or individuals that have shown us this growth point, such as when we deconstruct all of this. Why did they say that? What did they mean? I mean, not everybody's an overthinker, but these kind of things kind of come in clickety click like this, like when you're taken aback by something that somebody said, perhaps almost directed at you. And there's this idea here of don't take what doesn't belong to you. Even if some of these things are like, well, that's not me, I'm not like that, then think of the ways that these things do internalize with you. It doesn't always need to be lower. It could be the lack thereof. I don't have enough friends. I don't have enough stimulation, enough creativity. I don't have enough hours in the day to do what I need to do. I don't have enough money to do the thing that I want to do. Here it's like when we discontinue the victimization energetics here, that is when we choose to say, I'm going to stand up to whatever this circumstance, whatever this boundary crossing might be, and I'm going to sow the seeds that have been alchemized within me. I'm going to be a beacon of love, health, energy, restoration, rejuvenation. If I need a break, I need a break. And I am not going to push beyond that. And if I need to get up and move my body, I'm not going to allow any further self speak or otherwise to keep me chained to apathy, boredom, inertia, stagnancy. No more. That time is being challenged. It might look like these other individuals, but if somebody's bullying you, they're asking you to stand up. They're asking you to show them who you are, and you don't need to show them who they are. They know. So it's always back to being the bigger person, which can be aggravating. But there it is. So this full moon, in the northern hemisphere, this is the planting moon, the flower moon, the milk moon, where things start to give nectar. The bee that finds the nectar creates honey instead of creating some type of bitterness, like bacteria gets in and, changes things in a different way. It's like, what kind of fostered environment is internalized, what is being nurtured, and what is pouring forth from us? What is the water that we bear, the emotional psychic realms that we're pouring forth from this blessed sacred vessel? Who the hell are we? It's time to show some people. In the southern hemisphere, this is the hunter moon, beaver moon, and frost moon. So time to set the dams, staunch the flow, to keep enough water for self, to hunt, to gather, and to bring in the resources for the long, cold winter. So somebody may be frosting something out in order to be in a different space energetically. So yeah, some ways that you can honor your space. I would suggest starting your day off with making your bed. I would absolutely suggest it. Even if you don't have time, if you can do just the bare minimum, flip those covers up, smooth them out. And the more that you do this, the easier it becomes, the quicker it becomes, the more automatic. Jump out of bed, throw the covers back. It sets a precedence. It honors the space. It says this place is for resting, and it's always ready for me to come and rest. If you use it, take care of it, restore it. If you borrow it, give it back better. It's the energetic payment for the gift of gratitude of having use of a tool. Give it back restored and rejuvenated. There's a miracle coming our way here when we speak with authority, when we use our alchemy to direct the dynamics of a situation for the happiest outcomes for all. And even if you're being invited to a fight, you might still be, by spirit, being invited into your peace through aggravating circumstances. So don't become lost in the clouded nature of the full moon lead up. Sagittarius says we need breath of fresh air, and the only one who can truly gain inspiration is the one that is the seeker, yourself, the huntress. Let's see here. Divinity. Anything else further wants to come out? Integrity. Frequency shift. And on the other side, fearless. Power. We've had power quite a bit recently. What's under divinity? Caretaker. It's the way that we take care of our divinity is echoed in the way that we take care of the physical place. And it's about honor. It's about integrity. And as we shift our dynamic, ourselves, and demand pleasantly that others also match that energy or do not at least come around. Who knows what your situation? Fearless display of your powerful, magical self here can really create miracles in the situation. I feel like getting one of these mixed Kali Kuan Yin cards here. And then also Whispers of the Ocean Oracle. Looks like Kuan Yin deck card. Under the deck, Shining Lotus again. That one came out yesterday with the split, talking about really shining brightly, being restored and rejuvenated, taking the time to recognize the shifts going on within your own self and standing firm in that integrity. Blossoms of the Sky Dancer, number 3. The Sky Dancer. So blossoms. Yeah, it reminds me of the astrology, the conjunction right now. It's not a conjunction. It's an alignment between the Pleiades constellation and our solar system right now at this time before, or at this point in the Gemini skies. There is that fly again. To me, this is all about those blossoms that we are setting forth as intentions, our ability to tap into the higher realms instead of the earthly realms, because any of us who are sensitives, overly stimulated by things like buzzing flies that could drive us bananas, it's like in the face of a powerful display, in the face of a bully or a daunting circumstance in life, we can choose to be grateful and appreciative for all of the things that are available to us. And I know it's hard. And if you need a minute, if you need a day or a couple days to be sick from your job, a job is only one thing that we do in this life, but we got to live in this body. Amble with contentment, love where you are. Wanted to show. Waiting rather than acting is going to be the most advantageous right now. Use your sensitivity to know when to act. Connect your heart to your head when determining what you would like. Yeah, it's using our alchemy to declare our preferences. It's like, even if somebody is upset with us, it's like, I see that you're upset. And maybe your next declaration would be, and sometimes that makes me feel uncomfortable, as though it's directed at me. And I need you to back off or something like this. I don't know. Maybe that last statement doesn't belong there. It's not supposed to be so offensive. Yeah, I've got a lot of ideas whirling around in my head that are sometimes hard to convey in the time that we have here today. So I do appreciate your time and attention. And if you did meet any messages that spoke to you, please do consider liking and commenting. One more. All right, there we go. Those two, actually. Breakthrough to new dimensions. Yes. A new endeavor is on the horizon. Innovative energy wants to burst forth into your consciousness. And while we're in that resistant phase or victimized state, it can't come through. So we really need to take the break. We need to take a minute. Even when we can't spare an hour for meditation, that's when we need to spare 2 for some type of restoration. Connect to source. 47. Go within to discover what needs to be done. Create the shift required to attract what you want. Something about the bees getting nectar from the flowers, the shining lotus, the blossoms of the sky dancer, the flower planting moon. It's definitely something coming up here. And 34, gift of neutrality. Balance is at work in your life. Yin and yang are opposites in energy, but reside side by side to create the gift of neutrality. So if you can look beyond the aggravation or triggers or dissatisfaction, discontent in your situation, and just do one small thing at a time, or release one small thing at a time. Full moon is definitely a time to release, to receive. Be fearless as you really take time to consider your power in a situation, to shift the dynamic back into honor, integrity, and respect, into synergy instead of off-putting, offense, defense, keeping score in any situation. There's a better way to take care of and manage our divinity that's being shown to us through our circumstance. And we are going to be showing others very clearly with our communication, verbal, nonverbal, and otherwise, with just our energetic essence and aura, how we determine and declare how we need to be treated here. So yeah, we're setting up a new dynamic, and as soon as we can embody this shift in ourselves and really stand firm in our newfound powerful integrity, really stepping that up a notch, that's when the miracle breakthroughs start to come in. That's when those breakthroughs to new dimensions start to come in. And somebody I was reading earlier said something about, you have that one negative person in your life, and then you go home and you take that right back to your partner, to your kids, to XYZ, and possibly some of you internalize it, externalize it, and oh, everything always goes wrong for me. Spiral. It's time to spiral up instead. To break through to that new dimension takes us to really be neutral in that. It's a gift when something is shown to us that we can shift and change. That's our choice point. And as soon as we make that declaration, the energy shift is actualized. And that's when we start to see from above the veil. We start to peek above the veil, and we're in a whole new dimension. The whole world, the collective, is moving into a higher dimensional reality, and it's going to take us getting shaken down to the core in some states. So definitely rest up and get ready for this little roller coaster, folks. Love you so much. Take good care of yourselves, and we'll talk to you again soon.